Your Majesty, the strategic overview you requested for the end of this season. What was, what will be, and what is may yet be spoiled by this report, which contains major spoilers for all of Season 1 of this turning of the Wheel of Time, and vague plot-related spoilers for Book 2 describing last turning. The Westlands experienced many strategic developments this season. In the north, Shinar defeated a large incursion of Trollocs at Tarwin's Gap, and on the plain between the Gap and Faldara. Estimates placed the Trolloc army at 10 to 20,000. Apparently, after the Gap itself fell to the attacking forces of the Dark, a delaying action by a White Tower-trained Shannara noble proved unexpectedly decisive. Despite the victory for the Light, the Blight's grasp on the land north of Tarwin's Gap has not changed significantly. The Dark will likely hold their forces in reserve until they can field much larger armies than this on multiple fronts, as they now know we have the means to defeat a single force of that size. Given the number of Trollocs defeated, my clerks suspect at least 2 very powerful channelers have been discovered. If true, they will soon no doubt begin training at the White Tower and rise rapidly in the Aes Sedai hierarchy, dramatically altering already somewhat unstable internal power dynamics. This is because their power structure emphasizes strength with the one power over seniority, and because the current Amyrlin seat's grip on power is tenuous at best. Expect most Aes Sedai we interact with to be short-tempered in the near term, as these young women seem to swoop in and take command over them. Though, at the same time, the arrival of Her Grace the Daughter Heir will have the Aes Sedai eager for warm relations with us. Before they become full Aes Sedai, though, there is a marginal risk the Amyrlin will be deposed, due in part to the aforementioned internal instability. For more information on the details of that, please refer to the linked report below. We have nothing of significance to report to the south. In the east, we hear rumors of the Aiel stirring, but no large-scale movement as yet. Certainly nothing on the level of the Aiel War from a few years ago. To the west, though, we have much to discuss. There are rumors that the Dark is using the Ways to move Trollocs, heightening the threat level of any city in the Westlands near a waygate for Trolloc raids. This was discovered in part due to a devastating Trolloc raid in the far western portion of Andor. This presents an opportunity for Your Majesty to send a small detachment of Queen's Guards to provide the people there with much-needed security while they rebuild. They may even willingly kneel before the crown for the first time in many years. A longer-term concern of far greater consequence, though, is the fleet of ships of unknown origin that arrived on the west coast. Our eyes and ears report that a massive wave preceded them. Some say they were seeking to mask their approach, perhaps using channeling the Light Helpers. I suspect something entirely different. A wave as large as reported does not conceal their presence. It announces it. No, these ships engaged in a show of force. They are demonstrating their capabilities, that they are to be taken seriously, and that simply giving them what they want so they can let us alone would be the better path. If they were interested in thoroughly destroying our cities outright, they would have done so already. I assure Your Majesty that Andor will be ready to defend her land and honor from these invaders, no matter how powerful they appear currently. Our emissaries are already in talks with Ilion to fight against these invaders together, and some of our contacts in the White Tower have pledged their support, given Her Grace the Daughter Heir's arrival. We will continue to update you as my clerks and I observe and learn of new information about the coming season. These updates will explain possible outcomes and implications of the new information received. On a final note, I must mention that the Aes Sedai who offered their support did do so on one condition. They apparently wanted assurances that Her Grace the Daughter Heir would join their Aja before showing willingness to unite against this threat to the west. I really shouldn't be surprised after all these years, but I had hoped unprecedented times might change things somehow. Your Majesty, this concludes our report. My ladies and lords of the Westerns, rulers from sundry lands, if you find the reports my clerks and I produce to be helpful, as you labor in the service of your people, do honor us with your raised thumbs and subscriptions. Until our next report.